Hello, everybody. That's really nice to see that all of you are there, and we will have a great webinar. I'm looking so much forward to inspire you and to let my client talk and tell you about his experience of reversing glioblastoma, one of the most aggressive cancers or brain tumors existing. I have to tell you that I just recorded an interview with him. It's recorded, and I haven't had any time to cut it. Basically, so it's raw. You will gonna see a raw recording. So I will stop sometimes and comment what he's talking about, and then about and then he will say he will continue again. I hope you understand. And actually, maybe in some other webinars, because he said that he's. Thank you, Snebjörn, Snow Bear from Iceland. Yes, I also think that we are together making a breakthrough in glioblastoma history. I think so, really. So it's great. It's great. It was a very hard work, and it's still a very hard work because I'm continuing this work now with my clients on, but I'm trying to make it for many people now in my intensive boot camps, and that's what I'm doing now with for children with DIPG, children with glioblastoma, with glioma, different kind of glioma and astrocytoma, and it's going to be really great. And I'm also starting another boot camp because I can see that people that don't have brain tumors but have like ovarian cancers or breast cancers or some other kind of cancers, they asking me if they can do it. And because I don't want to basically because on my one boot camp, it's mostly children, all of them with brain cancers, brain tumors, and I'm working a lot with the families, and I really don't want to disrupt this because it's really strictly for children, and maybe will be some people, some grown-ups with glioblastoma, for example, also. But another boot camp will be for people. For people with other kinds of cancer. No, I don't have any relationship with Dr. Buzinski. No, Eric, this is a question. Okay, guys, I'm so happy that there's many people here, and there's 90 people registered on the webinar. It's I really want to spread this news and spread the message that we can really take responsibility for our health in our own hands. And we also can talk with the doctors and collaborate with doctors. It's it's not easy because, as Snebjörn, just Snow Bear from Iceland, said, that we are making a breakthrough, and when you are doing a breakthrough, it's still there's a lot of resistance. There's many people that are following the conventional pathways. They are not ready to listen. So I'm talking. I choose to talk to people that are ready already. Okay, so I don't engage into long, kind of not positive talks. I try to talk very, very positive, and I also try to cooperate with different kinds of health professionals. Also now, as you know, maybe as you might know, I started educating doctors and physiotherapists in my own country, in Denmark, in my own protocol. Sakharov protocol is 6-month intensive courses, practitioner education and certification, and now maybe in I also have a couple of people from Buteyko world and other therapists from different places of the world that asked me to be certified in my system. So if some of you are interested, I will maybe start already in 1 month. So, okay, there's a lot of possibilities here, and I really want my knowledge about connecting the different existing possibilities and kinds of knowledge connect into one multifunctional approach. So people can learn how to do an engineering. That's what I'm doing, actually health engineering. I'm an integrative health engineer. And the engineers, we used to know how to connect the dots. We used to pay attention to different aspects of the same construction or the same mechanism or of the same organism. And that's what I'm doing. Okay, guys, are you ready? Fasten your seatbelts. Now, I want to present you, or he will present himself. That's oh, that's great. That's great. Your doctor is impressed. That's what we need to impress some doctors. So they start understanding that instead of invasive therapies, they can actually help clients by not just telling them about the medicine, but also about, instead of medication, we can do education. That's basically what it is about. Education instead of medication. Good. Guys, my client, he will introduce himself and I will, yeah, let's start. Just a second.
My name is Gerting Andersson, and I am 54 years old. One day in the spring, I got an epileptic situation where I collapsed, and my lovely wife, she didn't accept it, the first version from the doctors, who was saying that can always happen once for everyone. So she took me to my doctor and forced them to make an scanning, and the result came out 2 weeks after, and it turned out I had a tumor in the brain. First, I didn't know if it was aggressive or if it was a harmless tumor. I didn't know anything about it. But after an operation I did on 3rd of May, it turned up to be, I could say, it was a glioblastoma tumor. I was quite lucky in the operation because I managed to take out everything. But plus a little bit more, as the surgeons said to me, and I always wondered what this little bit more was. But she told me she was able to take out the whole tumor. And of course I was in total shock. It was very, very shocking to get this diagnosis when you think you're still young and you still think you have many, many years ahead of your life. And in my situation, I have a 10-year-old son, and I also have older children, but I never ever put any thoughts I wouldn't be there for many years. So suddenly to get this very serious disease was very scary, really scary. It was panicking. It was because he understood very quickly to take away one brain tumor is not like something you just take away. It's very aggressive and it will most of the time come back. And of because you can't operate once per month and take it out. So it was very scary. It was panic. Many friends contacted me and my wife, Lotte, and was saying many different things. I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. And in the beginning you get totally confused because you don't know what you could believe, and you can't try everything. It's impossible. You have to find out what you believe most on. And luckily, one of the friends who wasn't the most pushing was a colleague in our orchestra. He just talked about what he had done with Misha. And in the beginning, I thought first, can that work? And I didn't really. I was very confused, to say it like that. Lotte, my wife, she called Misha, and that was basically 3 days after my operation. I felt really bad. I had a horrible headache and was puking all the time, and it was absolutely awful. And Lotte called me in the hospital and said, well, I actually called Misha Sakharov, Russian guy. And I think that could be a good idea to try. And first I was again more skeptic, but I said it can't be now anyway, because I feel so horrible, I feel so sick, I can't stand to see anyone else. So that takes later on. Let's wait. So, but anyway, after 2-3 more days in the hospital, they didn't want me to have it there, and they sent me home. And I came home, and sat in the garden, and Lotte came out in the garden and said, well, actually, just I spoke with Misha. And he will come. He insists to come. And he did. The day after I came home from hospital, Misha was here, and he started to talk about his possibility to make this battle against glioblastoma, what you could do about it. And I started. Same day, I changed everything. The diet, I got the exercising. It took a long time before I could see any points with these breathing things, because it was torture. It was awful. And also the food was nightmare, because the only thing I would like to have was toasted bread and a bit of ice cream. But I worked on and sat there with my bacon and egg and tried to get liver in me, which was also not the easiest part. Misha said very often it should be not even cooked, which was really difficult.
Okay, guys, that's a first part, and I want to comment on this. And one thing I really want you also to say, that remember, if you have questions, please don't write questions in the chat. But look, you have a little button here called Ask a Question just below. You see, there's a Ask a Question button. So please ask your questions there. So they are in a queue, so I have a possibility to plan my answers, okay? We have 2 hours, and I will try to do my best. And it's only one part of a long interview, and then another then we will have another part of the interview next weekend or next week also. But today you will have 7 different parts that are very, very interesting. So look, remember, ask a question, use a button there. Or if you can't find a button, then write in the chat. Okay, so you probably heard Gert Inge say they managed to take out everything. And I want to comment on this one. There's an interesting fact. Did you know that a normal tumor, how many cells has the normal tumor? Well, not the normal tumor, the average of the tumor, like 5 times 8 or something like that. It has 13 power of 10, which means 10 trillion cells. 10 trillion cells. That's a lot. Let me write this. Okay, normal tumor average, 13 power of 10 is 10 trillion. So it's a 1 with 13 zeros. And when people say they took everything, it means that the best they can do is take up around 99% of the tumor cells. And I wanted to tell you what it means. It means basically that what you have, it's in your brain, it's 11 power of 10. It's 100 billion. And this is a little bit stunning. It's a little bit stunning. So when people say they took out everything, remember, glioblastoma and tumors like glioblastoma, they are very aggressive. And they are very aggressive because they highly heterogeneous, very different population of cancer cells in one tumor and around the tumor. So this shadow around the tumor is not taken out. And we have this 11 power of 10, it's 100 billion cells. They start growing right away. And that's the problem with GBM. That's why we need to change the environment in order to stop glioblastoma. To try to kill glioblastoma doesn't make any sense. So why is so crucial to talk about this, to understand that after we removed the best situation, the best case, 99% is removed, we still have 11 power of 10, 100 billion cells. 1 with 11 zeros. So what we need to do, if we work with a good protocol like my protocol that works by changing the environment, still after 6 months work or 7 months work, like we worked with Gert Inge, we worked 6 months, it's 25 weeks. Basically, 7 months, I think. So what we need to do, we need to go in the maintenance. And the maintenance period, that's the step 2. That's the most crucial step. Because also after what we did right now, the stage where Gert Inge is in, what we are doing after the cure, because it's not a cure. The glioblastoma is not cured. These, it's still some cancer cells are there. So we need to not to fall off the wagon. So what we are doing after the cure, that's the first step. That's 7 months. And then the most crucial step happens. That's a maintenance step, step number 2. And we're going to talk about that a little bit afterwards. And the colleague, another thing, the colleague in the orchestra, that's another of my clients with the CLL leukemia. We reversed his leukemia without radiation and without chemotherapy, 100% on my protocol with breathing and nutrition. And normally glioblastoma, chronic lymphatic leukemia, it doubles leukocyte count every year, and we stopped that. The leukocyte count went very, very slowly down. After a top in half a year top, and then it was going down. We worked now for 4 years, and it's going down all the time. So we reversed the leukemia with his friend, and that's what his friend told him. Okay, good. So now we are starting again. Just a second. Okay, let me share the screen again.
22nd of May, I came to the hospital to talk with the new doctor, and then I already had been in this diet for 2 weeks, and I met this new doctor in the hospital, and she explained me what I was going to walk through. That was chemotherapy in 6 weeks, and 6 weeks. 6 weeks. And strålning, vad fan heter det? Radiation every day for 6 weeks. And she was extremely concerned if I could be able to make it with this special diet Misha had put me on, because she said, you will never be able to get through this treatment. It will be much too hard for you. And that made me a bit confused again, because then a doctor says that, is it right or is it not right? But still Misha was very insistent, and I said, okay, I'll try both. I go on about both horses here now. And started the treatment 30th of May. I started, and I had 6 weeks I had to face, and I have to say that was no problem at all. I didn't got any cortisone at all through this treatment. It was very unusual. The doctor was surprised after the 6 weeks, and I could make all the exercises Misha wanted me to do, and I could keep my diet. Of course, I lost weight, but I have to say it was actually only fat. I was a big boy before. I was over 100 kilo. And of course I lost a lot of weight, but I felt very strongly I didn't lose any muscles. So I still could do the exercising as I was normally able to do. And of course the doctor was very concerned when she saw me losing the weight. But she had wrong. She had wrong, totally wrong. After the 6 weeks, I could go to her office and say, well, here I am, and I feel very good. I feel very light, feel very strong, and full of power to continue. And then I had 4 weeks pause from the hospital. It was lovely, and I could feel my body was losing all this chemo and blah blah, and I felt very strong, and started the new treatment in August now for 6 months I have from August, which is not so bad. And I went on a bicycle ride to Stockholm, which are nearly 700 kilometers from where I live. I hardly didn't tell anyone that before, because I was too scared if I couldn't be able to do it, manage. But I did. Took a week. It was fantastic experience to do it and to enter Stockholm city, which never was there with champagne. I had to buy it myself, but it was very, very fantastic, strong feeling about it to manage.
Okay. Yeah, it is fantastic, Bodil. You're right. Totally right. It's really fantastic. And look, guys, when he's talking about that, I'm just thinking about, it's reminding me of all of those 7 months, what we went through. And it's every time I go through the cancer healing process with one of my clients. It's very, very strong. It's very strong. Yeah, I'm so happy. It's fantastic. Luke, I want to comment a little bit. He said that there's no cortisol at all. The doctor was very surprised, and that is happening with all of my clients. We go we very, very steadily. We diminish the cortisol normally, but in this situation there was no cortisol at all, and it was fantastic because he was working very strong. He was very dedicated from the start. And when we do Buteyko, and when we do at the same time 100% carnivore, which means we call it essential ketogenic. I'm very, very much inspired from of paleo medicine with doctors, two fantastic doctors that I love for their inspiration. It's Shabbatot and Zofia Clemens. I'm very happy that I read what they wrote together. I found out that ketogenic, it's not enough. Keto is not enough, and that's why I learned a lot from them. And I do something called essential ketogenic, which means we don't have any sources of inflammation, any potential sources of inflammation, which all come from the plant world. That's why we can not use cortisol, because we are, well, never be 100% sure, but we are almost sure that we can diminish inflammation with natural sources, and there will be no triggers of inflammation from anything. So we're working with nutrition. We're ensuring ketosis. Glucose go down, ketones go up, and we don't have any sources of potential sources of inflammation, any triggers, any food intolerances. Then we go very, very strong with Buteyko. So no cortisol at all. This is fantastic. And then I want to say that he said that he didn't lose any muscle. He lost weight. But the doctor was very concerned. Why they were concerned? Because they think that it is called cachexia. Cachexia, let me write this. So he didn't lose any muscles, lost weight. No cachexia. Cachexia, it means with your body, it's a last stage of cancer. When your body starts, because cancer grabs all the glucose in the blood and it's not enough, so it starts eating protein, which means getting energy from protein. And you are not moving that in this situation, in the last stage, very, very bad state, no health at all, actually dying state. So it's called cachexia. But look, it's not what happens here. When you go into nutritional ketosis, ketones have uncle. He have a sparing protein sparing function. Excuse me, uncle sparing. What is uncle sparing? It's called protein or muscle sparing function. So, and what he says that basically he got stronger. And then he's telling about his bicycle ride to Stockholm. And you have to look at this. And afterwards, I'm going to explain what he's doing. He's using a device that is called elevation training mask. And before that, I used an old version of this device, version 2. And Gert Inge, he used version 3, a newest one. And he looks like, this guy from Star Wars. How do you call the... let's talk about this... Darth Vader, exactly. You want to see Darth Vader? You get Darth Vader. Just a second. Let's look at Darth Vader. Just a second, let me find Darth Vader. We got him. Here we go. So I hope you enjoyed our local Darth, Danish, Swedish Darth Vader. It was a bicycle ride to Stockholm. Let me write here. It took 700 kilometers, and it took 1 week. And he was training breathing all the way. That's all the whole idea. He really wanted. He's already crossed about 50 CP at that situation, 40, 50 CP. So he just wanted to go up to 60 CP. That's control pulse. That's where the cancer cannot exist, basically. Well, in the modern therapists use 40 CP as the control pulse. It's from Buteyko world. It's basically control pulse. It's the amount of seconds after the normal relaxed exhalation until the first desire to breathe. You have to train a lot to reach 40. That's what the modern Buteyko practitioners say. It's normal state of health. And he started at about 8, 10 CP. So going to 40 takes many months. It takes a lot of work, especially with cancer. And then, but I say, like Dr. Buteyko said, and I'm a very conservative guy, and I say, we need to be up to 60. I will not be satisfied as your therapist until you are at 60. So he will tell you a little bit about this afterwards. So elevation training mask, basically what it is, it has many different functions, and we used. I only start using devices after my client really understands what Buteyko is, what the normal breathing is. It's not about CP. It's about relaxation, basically. It's about being able to relax in different situations and not only sitting, not only lying down. I train my clients walking, running, cycling, swimming. So I train my clients mostly in the movement, and that's what heals cancer, basically. I train them to train relaxation in movement. I call it progressive active relaxation, PAR. And that's the start for healing of cancer. It's called progressive active relaxation. In order to do that, you have to know what the structure is. And I do many different techniques from martial arts to teach my clients structure. And only then we can work with breathing retraining. And only then, after they understand Buteyko, they can start using devices. I never start using devices from the start. Okay, that's elevation training mask. And my teacher, Artur Rakimov, showed me that, and he showed me, also how to make his own version of what is called a Frolov device, breathing device. I do it for my clients in Denmark, in Sweden, and Europe when they coming to me. Some people also coming, living at my place for 1 or 2 weeks, and I'm making this device that are using. We're training very intensively. It's called do-it-yourself breathing device, invented by my teacher, Dr. Artur Rakimov. Okay, let's go further. Let's see what more he's gonna tell us. Let me share screen again.
And through all this work, I have been working breathings, and Misha pushed me very good, I have to say. When I haven't believed it works, he said, no, continue, you will be able. when I reached the goal CP 4060, I was so happy. Now I'm 4060. And Misha starts to talk about, well, now you have to reach 6090. And that was science fiction. I thought, that's not possible. It's totally impossible to reach 60. No, you will see, you'll be able to do it. I couldn't believe it. And that was beginning of September. And I was surprised when I, for 3-4 weeks ago, passed to that. I wondered what was happening in my body, because suddenly I was not at all any problem to do it. I couldn't believe it. And certainly not for half a year ago when I started. I think it was up in 14 seconds, or 15 or something like that. The only thing that was happening from a hospital side is I got my first MRI scanning 4 weeks ago. And that was the first control after the whole thing had started for half a year ago. And of course I was very nervous, and I came to talk with the doctor, and she said, well, we can see something in the brain which shouldn't be there. We don't know what it is. It don't have to be a tumor aspect. It can be something from a radiation. We don't know, but it could be a tumor. We don't know. And I got really scared, because if it was back, what now? Nothing. What now? It would really be going down the mountain and have a big hill facing you. So I had to make a new PET scanning, where I could see more detailed about what it was in the brain. And thank God, 1 week after, she called me, the doctor, saying it's false alarm, it's nothing, everything looks great. So so I'm very optimistic for the future. I strongly believe this will end very, very good. I really believe that. And of course I still continue working, and I still continue with everything. And the bonus side is I lost all this weight. And
so how much weight did you lose?
24 kilo I lost. And the last 10 years I had a huge battle to lose weight.
So it's your weight you've been for 25 years old or something like that?
I haven't been this weight for 30 years. I mean, I'm now 78, what I was when I was 20. So it's 30 years, 35 years.
So what... Okay, that was another part. And remember, guys, please ask questions. Use the button down there. I can see somebody already asked the questions. With Bodil asked, how do we work with breathing? Okay, I will answer this later. Please write more questions here, okay? Okay, let me comment on this. Well, yes, you heard that 40-60 and then 60-90. It means basically that's how we work with breathing. I will tell you a little bit later some details about that. But it's the measurement, 60-90, that's, and he said he couldn't believe it because I told him from the start, like half a year ago, that you will be there. I know it. I know it. If you work, if you believe me, if you read, if you listen to the physiology that I'm going to tell you, if you listen to basically how to train, if you and if you have 100% compliance, which I told him from the start, you have to have 100% compliance. You have to basically do 100% what I'm telling you to do. And we have online logs. We've been checking this. He was writing every single day. his blood measurements and his breathing measurements and his measurements of physical exercise. He was writing it every single day for 25 weeks, basically, more than 6 months. Yeah. So it's a hard work, but it's possible for everybody. If people want to work, if people want to take responsibility for their health in their own hands, and that's what I really help. It will also help reverse DIPG. I have my first, client with DIPG, 5 years old girl. DIPG, nobody survived really DIPG before that. That's basically worse than glioblastoma. And I'm working with this girl right now, and the parents are very cooperative, and we have a great team. And I believe we will be able to reverse DIPG for the first time in history. So this is strong. And he also said, remember the first scanning, he was nervous, and that's called scanxiety, basically. And we could see it in the graphs. I will maybe afterwards show you the graphs of his healing and his correlation between breathing and nutrition, actually, measurements. That is also fantastic. That's the first time we never seen these correlations in cancers between breathing and nutrition. What it basically says that we optimize mitochondrial function or mitochondrial respiration. Wow. I said it to my big master, to my, I see him as my big teacher. That's Professor Seyfried from Boston University. And I met him here for a month ago in London in a conference about childhood cancers. And I said to him, dear Thomas, on this graph, you can see how we normalize or optimize mitochondrial respiration. And we cannot actually show it normally in the graph, but we can see it here. That's basically about all the nutrients that go into Krebs cycle or into citric cycle that makes energy, make ATP on the cell level, also on the mitochondrial level. Fat, protein, different kinds of micronutrients also, but also oxygen and also carbon dioxide as a byproduct. It's very, very interesting to look at this. Okay. So, and then the doctors say we can see something that shouldn't be there. So what do you think this message makes him more scared? Yeah. So scanxiety was not just another. Scanxiety is when you are, when you have elevation on your stress hormones. It push up cortisol also, push up insulin, and your sugar goes up, and your ketones go down, and your breathing goes down. It's called scanxiety. I can show it in the picture, and then the doctor says we can see something that shouldn't be there. So he gets even more scared, and you can see it there. It was not really good, as doctor, but okay. So they make the second scanning, the PET, and PET showed what I told them. I told him, you see, you can see, it's scar tissue, because I knew it from my first case with glioblastoma. They said the same. We can see something that shouldn't be there. Okay, so second scanning PET showed that the tumor was out of picture. And the bone was there. He lost 24 kilos weight. And last time he had this weight for 30 years ago and was overweight when he came to me. Now he has a fantastic normal weight, and he has a better physical, physically he's better than any time in the last 40 years. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit more about, just a second. Yeah, just a second. Let me Let me share the screen. Remember the questions, guys. What is about this? Now you are in a management phase or in the maintenance phase. Will it be different? Are you going to fall back on something that you used to eat before?
No,
or will
no,
you...
absolutely not. Absolutely not. The diet is no problem. The diet is, of course, it's Christmas time now. I can see with things in the shops and say, well, yes, of course, I would, yeah, to be honest, but no, I am not tempted. I have a small hole. I take blueberries, a small 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blueberries sometimes, and put some very, very fat cream. And it tastes marvelous. It does.
So are you still measuring glucose and ketones so you know where you should be?
I know where I do. I take glucose every morning. Keto, sometimes I forgot to buy, and it can go maybe 5 days between, but 4, 5, 6 days between the keto, and it stays 0.5, 1, 1.5 there around. The glucose stays most of the time very stable around 4.1, 4.0, 4.2.
Okay, so what he's talking about, the diet is not a problem. And that's for sure, the diet was a problem. He said this, it was very, very bad for him. I mean, it tastes, well, he's a feinschmecker, you know, he's a gourmet. He used to make food. He used a lot of time making food. Italian food, French food. He's a very, very good cook. He's a cook. So yes, it was a problem for him. But he went into very, very strict nutritional regimen. And after we won, you know, just before when he reached 60, I told to him, you know, you can get some blueberries. It's okay. Before it was strictly carnivore, and then was some blueberries. You can eat some asparagus if you want. He really wanted that. Okay, fantastic. So basically what I want to see normal glucose all the time. And if he can show me that he can manage maintaining this glucose all the time, and I'm, well, I know it because I see the measurements every day. And the measurements, my graphs are made, I made everything myself, and they change the color if they go under some defined parameters. So when they are good, they are green. When they are okay, they are blue. But when they are not good, they are red. And it's I can see it like that, both in his breathing and his measurement of the blood plasma, which we are doing every day. So, and he's talking about GK ratio. That's a ratio of glucose to ketones. It's called GKI indicator, glucose ketone indicator. That's something Professor Professor Seyfried wrote about, and his ideas have to be about 1. And when he's in healing, the ketones can go a little bit down after some months. It's also called a 3rd stage of adaptation. And then it can be a little bit different. It goes a little bit up this. So ketones go a little bit lower. Glucose is where it is. So so the ratio go a little bit up to 1.1, 1.5 maybe, like that, or 2 sometimes. Okay, let's talk about breathing. Just a second. Let me let's talk about breathing. Just a second. It's here. Yes. Guys, remember the questions. I see you're good. There's 3 questions waiting for me. I'm happy. I'm really happy. Want to make me happy? Ask questions. Be inquisitive. That's what makes me happy. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what about breathing? Are you gonna keep on doing breathing exercises? Now you have a measurement kind of a 60-90. That's you should.
Well, I make the easiest exercise I find is the walking, because I walk at least once per day, and now I can't really stop making this walking. Breathing in 2-step and count steps when you walk out in the breathing. So yes, of course I will continue. Of course. The floor for the bottle. Floor. I don't know, this Frolov
device, the breathing device.
Breathing device. I hate. But I try to do it. I do it, of course. I do it every day. Not every day I do it twice. I should. Yeah, I know. But at least I do it once. But I hate it. It's so boring. But I try to do it every day and understand the point. I know the point. And my tumor in my head, I know totally operated upon, but I also know it's not gone. It's still there. I see it as a dragon. Dragon now sleeps, and if I don't do the things I have to do, the dragon will wake. So it's very inspiring to think about this evil dinosaur you have in your head. So if you feel you don't want to do it, think about the dragon and then you do it. But the walking part is no problem, because I like to walk. And it's also fun to see how many steps you actually can walk in one breathing out. And I love the feeling when you're running out of air and you get this shittling in your body. I don't know, the furthest way I like it, to get this feeling, to keep it in your body. But yes, of course I will continue.
So you see, this is, yeah. So how do we work with, Bodil asked me, hvordan arbejdes med åndedræt? Which means, how do we work with breathing in Danish? Okay, and that's, I started, actually I should have started answering this question right when he started speaking, but now I'm still answering, so you can afterwards rewind a little bit before when he starts talking about breathing. So basically what I want to say about breathing, that's what he said. We use many different breathing exercises, and it's basically about very much about relaxation. So relaxation in movement. So we do exercise, it's called steps exercise in movement, when we promote longer and longer inhale on a relaxed inhale, longer and longer, and we count steps, small inhalation and long exhalation afterwards. And that is my version, basically, of some Buteyko exercise. And I'm very happy that my master, my teacher, Dr. Rahimov, is also using my version of this exercise now, as I understand. So it's called steps. And then Frolov, it's a breathing device. I do it in Denmark. I do it, or for people that are coming to me here, I'm doing it, making a do-it-yourself device, my own. I make my own device to all of them after they learned the basics of Buteyko, not before. And it's hard. And you know, my other client that he talked about, and he will mention him afterwards. My leukemia client, he used it 3 times to reverse leukemia. He used it 3 times a day, morning in the about 5 o'clock, and also in the evening. And he was working full time all the time while reversing his leukemia. He was using it 3 times a day. Gerd Ing is using also twice a day. And in this maintenance period, he's using once a day. In the maintenance period, my clients, after the cancer is reversed, they also use it only once a day, but they have to keep on using it. And then we are using also different exercise on diminished breathing, both when we are sitting, driving a car, and I'm teaching my clients to all of these exercises, staying at the desk. I teach them using normal breathing, optimizing breathing with elevation desk. So we never work sitting, only work if we want to work with computer or something. We work staying with people by elevation desk. And that's what I'm also only working while when staying up. I have a little elevation desk in my house. And I'm getting up in the morning. We are not going to talk about sleep hacking today, but sleep hacking, normalization of sleep, it's a very, very big part of this. And when I'm getting up in the morning and I'm sleeping around 5 hours, 4.5, 5 hours, I'm getting up about 5 o'clock in the morning. And I have a part of basically live in a Norwegian log house. So there's some deers are coming and grassing in the morning. So early in the morning, it's very nice to see. So to get up very early, it's really, really good. You extend your day. So, and he also talked about this. He said the tumor is still there, and it's inspiring in a way because he said it's about the dragon. And now we talk about this dragon as a helper dragon. I want him to, it's a good dragon now. So it's domesticated dragon, basically. The dragon that helps him to do what he's got to do, what he has to do. Okay? So, yeah, the dragons could be good dragons. You know it also from Chinese mythology. They have also good dragons too, the helpers. So this is a helper dragon, that's for sure. Reminding him what he's going to do. And another dragon is a very, very good dragon, very sweet dragon, reminding what to do. It's his wife. And you're going to hear an interview with his wife next weekend. So come to my webinar next weekend. Going to hear this lovely woman, Lotte, a very lovely, another kind of dragon. So, and he said also about the steps exercise that he loves the feeling of getting out of air in a way. And this is a kind of a sadomasochistic experience in a way, but it's some sweet suffering. And that's what I really want people to find this balance between sweetness and suffering. And it becomes some kind of a sweet suffering. It's basically nice. And I'm also doing the same. Almost every time I walk in the woods, I do the same. I do the steps and I experience this sweet suffering. And I do diminished breathing. I also do something next level. And next level is called micro breathing. And nobody really talks about micro breathing, but micro breathing is something very special. Maybe I can make a webinar for advanced Buteyko exercises. In micro breathing, you can experience micro breathing when you reach 60 and go over 60. In micro breathing, it's very special when you experience some very unusual things. You can see some very, very different colors, and it feels like you are not breathing. You can actually walk 6 kilometers an hour, pretty brisk walk, and you're not breathing. This is crazy. The first time I got this one, I got scared. Seriously, it scared shit out of me. It's called, it's also, micro breathing starts when you experience something called click effect. as well as I know it's also only described in a book by Artur Rahimov called Advanced Buteyko Exercise, only in one line. And I can tell you about click effect. This is something could be very, very interesting to experience. Wow. It means that you have super health, click effect, or micro breathing. I can maybe sometime tell you about that. Okay, done answering question number 1. Now let's go. And guys, please ask questions again. Okay, let's go and talk a little bit with Gert Inge again. And he has a message to say to the others. And is it doable or is it not doable? I guess you know the answer. If people are get this diagnosis of glioblastoma or some other aggressive brain tumors, gliomas or astrocytomas, DIPG, is it possible? Is it doable to do what you do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I can't understand people who don't want to do it, because if you get such a serious disease, you have to do what you can do. And yes, absolutely. And what they have done, I mean, where I was for half a year ago, I couldn't impossibly believe I would be here in this shape for half a year ago. Misha said to me, you will come down to look like you did for 30 years ago. And of course it was, I couldn't believe that, but he said that. So, yeah.
That's what people they cannot really understand that it's you again. You told me.
No, like that's very surprised. And you have to, the first thing you have to say is, I'm not sick. It's not, that's not why I look like I'm doing. I just feel good. So, yeah, but I have been in I went into a hole. I call it a hole when I got this disease. I haven't seen so many people until recently. So it's so few people have seen me through the whole period, so they have seen my development. But most of my friends, absolutely most of my friends and family didn't see me for a long time. So of course they got, what? Is it you? And then I had to say, yeah, but I'm not sick. It's not because I just lost the weight and feel. So yeah.
So do you still have this little area where you can feel and you can see that you had an operation?
Yeah, I can feel it. And I lost all the hair from the radiation. And they said to me, the hair you lose maybe will come back. But you have to expect not. But the hair is coming. I can feel it's not big, but the reason I'm very shortcut now is to cover this big, but it's coming.
So you see the hair is coming, and he's positive. And that's a strong message. It is doable. You have to do what you can do. You have to take responsibility for your health, because otherwise you will keep on working against symptoms and not changing the causes or changing the triggers of your disease. And it's not only about cancer, it's about everything. It's not all of those diseases we are talking about, like asthma and cardiovascular disease and diseases of, digestive diseases of gastrointestinal tract, mental diseases, depression, everything, osteoporosis. And then we also have autoimmune diseases like diabetes 1 And then we have many kind of autoimmune diseases, and if we just take pills or take enzymes or take supplementations, it will not change. It will only remove some symptoms, but it will push also us along closer and closer towards basically chaos. Far and far away from homeostasis, basically from not homeostasis because it's just our system without the environment, but we call it allostasis. Allostasis, it's our body in relation to the environment, to the environmental triggers. And we have to have allostatic resilience, not homeostatic resilience. It's not enough. Allostatic resilience. That's what we are working with in my protocol. We are optimizing your allostatic resilience. So it's possible to do that. And he said it was impossible to believe that he will be in this shape. He said that I said to him from the start, if you do what I'm telling you, if you follow my protocol, if you are 100% compliant, you will look and you will have the physics better than for 30 years ago. And you will have better physique and you will look like before. Well, not exactly, but very, very close. So people get surprised by his looks, yeah. And he's saying, no, don't be afraid. I'm not sick. I'm actually have good health. So, and he was being it's like into hell. It's like into hell, yeah. And he went for a very strong, very hard period. And he was not seeing people until recently. He lost hair. Something is coming back now. It's really, really great. So, and now he's actually he's gonna start working again. He's one of the best violin players in the North Europe and maybe in the world. He's very, very good. He's playing in the best orchestra in Denmark, Kongelig Kapel, and his wife is also playing there. Lotta. So they both start working again. And that is fantastic. So you want to hear about that? I think so. So let's hear about that a little bit. Remember the questions. So what about how does it feel to come back to train again, to rehearse violin and thinking about making some
I haven't done it yet. I'm starting now very slowly to come into a theatre, to my orchestra at least once per week. I'm starting soon. And after New Year's Eve, I will start full time again, and or nearly full time. It has been lovely to be free, I have to say, to work with yourself, not having stress, not have this. First time in your life, you can only think about what you want to do with yourself, and that's lovely. It's not always bad to get very sick because you know some good things you can really work with.
So what did you learn from this process, if we can say, okay, it was good in some ways? What did you learn?
Oh, did I learn?
About yourself, about your body?
It is possible to do something. It is possible to change. It is possible to learn something new.
What about this taking responsibility for your health and how it looks like for the doctors? Because we used to tend to believe 100% what the doctors say. What is possible was not possible. And they say you're gonna die from glioblastoma. Was that right? You're gonna die from this. That's what they say.
The first doctor, 22nd of May, she said to me when I asked her, that's dangerous. Yeah, but we see many patients who survive with some years, and even 10 years, but you are going to die of glioblastoma, she said to me. And that wasn't so nice to do. And the doctor's reaction about when you ask them, can you do something? Can you do anything yourself? Can you do something? Can you change something? And we say, oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely not, they say. And that's the most scary things with it, because you can do something yourself. You can, of course you can do. And when the doctors, where you see them as very, how to say, respected people in society, and when they tell you you can't do anything, just go home and live like you can't change this justice. That's really disturbing. That really destroys a lot, and for many people, because I have friends who have got this cancer diagnosis, and they have said, "Oh, I don't believe anything. I believe the doctors." And that has not always ended up very well for them. But they have friends who have a strong belief you can do things, and they have a very good life now. Never can tell in the future what will happen, but
yes, you can. That's right. You can never predict the future, but if you have a doctor like this, and you ask him, "Can you do something?" and he or she answers you, "Absolutely not," I think you have to find another doctor, and you'd better take responsibility for your health and you're in your own hands, because it's possible. So see, this is great for him to get Inge to start working, and this is well, it's in many ways it's a very special time for in his life, and it's not always bad to get very sick. You see, bad to get very sick. And it's hard to say this, because it's like people dying from this. But if it's possible to turn it into good experience, it's possible to make a change, and you have to deal with some taboos. You have to break them. You have to be very crucial with the taboos. You have to understand, and I wrote, actually, if you guys didn't read my little book, I read a little book about healing cancer. It's free. You can download it. Please, if you did not download, please write to me. I will send it to you. And I made an audiobook in English also, and a little book about, and I also wrote about a little book in English about breathing and cancer also free. You are welcome to get it. I will send it to you. Please write to me. You can write it to me directly. Basically, write my free books here. Write to me on this address here, misha@sakharov.com. I will send it to you. Okay. So, and the doctors, is like, it's crazy, because if you don't take responsibility, wow, you risk that a doctor will say to you, you know what, you're gonna die from GBM, from glioblastoma, you're gonna die from DIPG, you're gonna die from medulloblastoma, you're gonna die from astrocytoma, you're gonna die from all kind of gliomas and all other cancers. And this is a destroying, this message destroying many people, destroying the hope, because they used to believe in doctors, in this profession, in this fantastic profession. Okay, my own son is studying doctor, third year in Copenhagen University, and I'm having a lot of conversations with him. I'm very proud of him also choosing this path, and I'm cooperating with fantastic doctors here in Denmark and also other places in the world. They are, wow, they are open. They learn new things. They understand the value of education and not only medication. So you have to change the doctor if you don't have a doctor like this. Or you'd better take responsibility for your health into your own hands, because we have a protocol, Sakharov protocol, and we have boot camps so you can do this. So, yeah, and the last one, it's just a short one about the friend, the Anders, and my leukemia client with leukemia. I worked with like more than 4 years now, and how he helped him. So the help from, just a second, help is very, very crucial. Having help from friends and family. So that's a last little episode.
Yes, of course, I have learned a lot.
So did Anders that I worked with to reverse it? Just a second, excuse me. Excuse me 1 second, I'm trying it again. I will try it again.
But yes, of course, I have learned a lot.
So did Anders that I worked with to reverse his leukemia, he helped you also, saying that it's actually he took also responsibility for his health, and you can also do that.
Absolutely. I mean, Anders Fogh was enormous inspiration for me. Absolutely, because when I met him, he was so nice and friendly and so helpful in the beginning. Because he came out when I was feeling so shitty, and came out like a big sun and said, "This works. Look at me. This works really." And I don't know how bad it was for him, but I suppose he said it was very, very, very aggressive, dangerous what he had. And now, after all these 5-6 years, he had been working this method. He has never ever has it so good as he has. Men det är engelska det. And so of course that gives you so much inspiration to meet people like that. It does. It helps a lot. Because when you sit there on your own and you only have 2 information sources, and that's one from the doctors, and then suddenly you met a person now like Misha, you want to see the result, you want to see the proof, you want to see, does it help, does it work? And then when you meet a person, as you know as well as Anders Fogh, and you see, yes, it works. Yeah.
I'm very happy to hear this. I'm so happy, guys. This is hard to explain how happy I am hearing this. So Anders, it was my leukemia client, and I actually just also made an interview with him, just like that, also half an hour, and I would like you to. So if you have anybody with leukemia, any kind of leukemia, it's my second kind of leukemia. I helped my client reverse CML and AML leukemia. So if you have anybody with leukemia, if you know anybody, just tell them that it's possible. Now I make also another very intensive boot camp where I will also be able to take people with leukemia. And so let me answer your questions. But first, I will put a little call to action here, a button here. Here, I'll show this button. You see a green button here. I think it's green, maybe also for you. They say enroll to beat DIPG now, starting tomorrow. Well, we have also some people starting tomorrow already with glioblastoma and with medulloblastoma. And you can, if you enroll now, you will start tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. in your time zone. You will have the first video, and then we start question and answer sessions in very, very small steps. The first 2 weeks are very, very small steps, and we will be able to start measuring your state of health, and that's how we're working. So you can follow afterwards. We have a little bit 10 or 20 minutes. Let me answer the questions. Yeah, another thing also. Another thing I want to tell you, that if you have any questions, and if you have any of your relatives and your family that have questions, please copy this link. We connect online for 30 minutes, and I do it free of charge. Here you go, guys. You can book your free of charge and talk to me directly about your state of health if you need me. Good. We learn a lot from each other. I still am giving free, and people using, a lot of people. Every day I give some free conference calls. And I stopping now having, well, at least I will not take so many one-to-ones now, but I will help people on the intensive boot camps now. So, so let's look at the questions. I have 4 more questions here. This is fantastic. Wow. And Sid asked, how long since diagnosis? And the diagnosis was for, well, it's 7 or 8 months ago, I think. Yeah, 8 months ago. 8 months ago, and then surgery. 7 months ago, I think. Surgery, and then we worked 6 months. And you see, my intensive boot camps are also 6 months. And I basically, in my boot camps, I want to mimic everything I'm doing with my one-to-one clients. It's totally new, and we build it together with Karsten, and that's my fantastic partner. He wrote something here. Yeah, he said that I love his honesty. Breathing exercises is torture. Yeah, Karsten. No, well, yes. You see, this exercise, which is called Frolov exercise, some people take it easy and do it. And in the start, it's torture. Yeah, it's a little bit, but they would do it. And they get, when people slip everything, all the bad things, all the symptoms disappear, and they have good times. They don't think that things are a torture anymore. They just have good health. Do you think when the child, feels that it gets better and better from a brain tumor, he stopped cooperating? No. He's cooperating. He's doing everything. The children are very, very intelligent, and they learn very fast, and so do the grown-ups. So that's that's the seed. And then Bodil asked, "Vilken kost exemplar?" which in English means what kind of nutritional regimen examples. And nutritional regimen is it's basically I do something. It's not ketogenic diet. It's not only ketogenic. It's not enough to reverse cancer. What I do, maybe somebody can do that, but we'll do. I'm very inspired by Paleomedicina, as I said, Hungarian company, with Shabatot and Zofia Clemens, 2 very, very gifted doctors, fantastic doctors, some of the most fantastic doctors I ever met. So I'm very inspired by them. I used I call it, they call it Paleolithic ketogenic diet. I call it, very small differences, but basically the same. I call it essential ketogenic. And essential ketogenic means that we both go into ketosis by start burning fats. It's only animal fats. And then we remove all the carbohydrates, everything. What they do both. They have some carbohydrates in Paleomedicina and sometimes not. But I just say to my clients, if you want to work with me, let's do it. But you have to comply. You have to understand that I want to, in order to stop autoimmunity, all autoimmune conditions, some food intolerances, we have to be 100% sure that we remove them. And all of them, basically, they lie, almost all of them, in the plant world, the world of plants. So we remove all plants, everything, plant oils, everything, including, for example, everybody do ketogenic with olive oil and also with coconut oil. No olive oil, no coconut oil, no plant oils. Zero, zilch, nothing. It's carnivore. It's full carnivore diet. We're eating, and it's moderate fat. It's not moderate protein. It's not a lot of meat. No, it's moderate meat. But we're using a lot of animal fats. It has to be a very strong 2-to-1 in the dry matter content, 2 fat to 1 protein. And I teach my clients how to do it easily. And then we use also, it's only animal fats, yeah. And then we use offal, internal organs, different kind of endocrine organs. We use heart, we use liver, we use sweetbreads, we use kidneys, we use brains. Also by some people that they want, not everybody, but some people that are very intelligent. They listen to what I'm saying, and they also buy fresh lamb brains. And also in Denmark, it's prohibited to buy lamb brains. But I have some of my butcher lamb brain pushers in Copenhagen. I can tell you where it is from my clients from Copenhagen. So that's the example. And also we make bone broth, and I use not only bone broth, I also use fish broth. It's only from fish bones and fish heads. And then I also use clams and mussels, crucial thing also, and some fish too, but only the fattest fish. And I also I invented basically my own method of cooking, and that's also part of my protocol, Essential Ketogenic. And I will tell how to use both sous vide and use frying, I call it 15-second frying for everything. We don't fry more than 15 seconds. And that's very special way. It tastes fantastic. And you can make, I can tell you, I have a lot of things to learn, and we have 6 months of learning. And on my intensive boot camp, we also have a lot of hours in kitchen and also in the buying in the supermarket. There's a lot of videos from there. So that's my answer on nutrition. And then we have 2 more questions from Eric Clark. By having chemo and By having chemo and radiation before starting, did that make it harder to get a result? What about one who avoids the medical approach and does your protocol only? Well, that's what my client with leukemia did. He avoided 100% chemo and radiation, and we reversed his leukemia, chronic lymphatic leukemia. Right now, and now I'm working, with another client with glioblastoma in Denmark here, and she did not have surgery. And I also from tomorrow have another a boy with medulloblastoma that didn't have some surgery because it's situated in a place in frontal cortex where it's not possible to do it. But basically, I met my biggest inspiration, Professor Seifert, last month in London, and I recorded 3 hours of talk with him. We had 1-to-1. He gave me 1-to-1, 3 hours, and I will make maybe a little book out of it. And what he's saying that, Misha, if you can tell people that really have guts to avoid chemo and radiation, it will make a very big difference. I hope it's okay, my dear Thomas Seifert, that I'm citing you for that. But I need to say this. Chemo and radiation make it worse. If the doctor communicated with me just after the diagnosis, if anybody of you guys communicated to me right after diagnosis and made a scan, for example, and then we went next day into strong training regimen and then made one more scan 1 month after, we will see a start of the remission. The tumor would be a little bit, or disappear, I don't know. But I think the tumor will be much, much smaller. We will be able, but you see, the crucial thing after the diagnosis is that the person can, what people are dying, they're dying from intracranial pressure, they're not dying from a cancer itself. People with the glioblastoma, they are dying from intracranial pressure. That's what does the medulla, the pons, where the breathing center lies. Under very strong pressure, what happens is that we stop breathing, basically. So in all other vital functions, they just stop working because of intracranial pressure. But if you don't have headache, you don't need to make a surgery. You can go to me. You don't need chemo and radiation. You could go here, and we can start working your ass off, because I will push you, and I will ensure very, very strong compliance, because we have measurements. And if you are if you understand, if you are a thinking person, or if you are a thinking parent to a child, an intelligent one, really intelligent, you will do that. But it takes, you see, that's why I wrote this book. I really want to precondition people by answering some questions, by actually also writing some questions about the taboos, how to break those taboos. They are, the taboo is that it's possible to take responsibility for your health. It's a taboo for the doctors. Shh, that's my dog. It's a taboo. We have to break this taboo. We have to kill this taboo. That's the only thing we want to kill. That's the taboo. Otherwise, we are very sweet people working with metabolic approaches to health. We don't want to kill anybody. We don't want to kill cancer, basically. Also, we want to speak to cancer, understand the message, what the cancer is trying to tell to us. It's not invasive. This approach is not invasive. We don't want to kill cancer. We don't want to battle cancer. Well, maybe want to beat a little bit. But want to beat a little bit. Sometimes, well, I'm Russian, beat GIPG, beat GBM. People understand what beat means. But basically, I want just to let people understand the message the body is giving to them. And then to take cancer by the hand and say, dear cancer, I understood your message, what you're telling me. And now please leave. And I'm going to work from now on and until you're gone. And my dragon that is sitting on my shoulder will help me. If you didn't hear that one about the dragon, you have to hear it. The replay will be here for 3 days. Please, only for 3 days. Or 2 days, basically, up to Tuesday. So if you will use the same link here, you will be able to look the replay for 2 days. So please give people this link. And then it will be, we will have the next webinar next week. Okay? So for a person of avoiding the medical approach and doing my protocol only, yes, sure, Eric. Thank you for asking. Last one from Ernst. Marius Masson. Do one have to repeat the same diet every week, and will there possibility for green vegetables as a supplement to fat and protein eating for half a year as specified by Sakharov protocol? Excuse me, I start answering. Do one have to repeat the same diet every week, and will there be possibility for green vegetables as a supplement to fat and protein eating for 1.5 year as specified by the Sakharov protocol? Well, that is a very good question, Ernst. And you see, my client just answered it, because he basically says that he's eating some blueberries. Do you remember he said that? Eating some blueberries with some fat cream. And that's because we reversed his cancer. So after 1.5 years, yes, I just want to be sure that we don't trigger inflammation in any way. In any way. When I say in any way, I mean in any way with big A, big N, and big Y. So I don't want to risk. I don't want my clients to risk their life because there will be some little, or maybe 2 or maybe 3 small triggers of inflammation. And that could be some degree of lactose intolerance, some degree of intolerance for lectins, and some other anti-nutrients that we have in green vegetables. And I have a very, very big list. If you want to hear the list of anti-nutrients, then I can tell you the list. This is histamine, the salicylates, gluten, that the FODMAPs, tannins, oxalates, saponins, isoflavones, solanine, chaconine, glycosides, triterpenes, lignins, sulfides, glutamate, not only in green stuff, but also benzoates, trypsin inhibitors, and then the indigestible fiber, putrefying and rotting in the gut. And then, well, there's a lot of different things, you can get. And I also say to people, for example, cured processed meats, fish products containing biogenic and vasoactive amines or amines produced by bacteria during fermentation, they don't want to eat it. And they produce during fermentation, during storage, and during decay also, and histamine being the most known of them. But there are a handful of others with very pretty names like putrescine and cadaverine. You like the names? I don't. So those are anti-nutrients in most of them, what I saw in plant-based food, that can cause inflammation. And do I want to risk my client's life? No. And basically, they are not my patients. They are my clients. They will never be my patients, because none of them are patiently waiting. That's what patients they have with doctors. I don't have any patients. I have only clients. Very intelligent people. Thank you, guys. I think let me look at the chat. If I forgot to answer, please write something in the chat, or write a new question. We have some minutes to go if you want. Yes. That's basically, I just want to say, write to me, to my free books, MishaSakharov.com. Use this link. Please copy it, what I'm writing here, my free books, copy it. Save it somewhere. Copy what I'm writing here. Let's connect online. That's the last thing in the chat. Let's connect online for a 30 minutes conference call. I do it free of charge. Copy it. I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do free calls for the rest of my days. Because you see, guys, what I'm doing, it's something I breathe for, something I live for. That's my life. That's what you see. Karsten, my partner, we actually helped each other with we're 6 years now working together every day. Thank you, Slava. Great. I know you're my fellow carnivore. from Israel. I love you. I think maybe I'm coming to Israel together with Karsten maybe next month. Maybe we're gonna be to each other. And I can make, if you want, I can make a workshop there also. Okay, so Karsten, without Karsten, I wouldn't be able to do this because he helped me every single day. And he didn't actually, he put all his money, well, into, not all his money, but he put some money into this. And he's not basically, we're starting only now to earn money. We've been working 6 years without money, just, helping people very much. And this replay of this webinar, yes, Eric, we're gonna be great to see you next week. And the replay of this webinar will be available, yes, for sure. So, yeah. So thanks. Yeah. Thank you, Slava. So again, my very, very big thanks to Karsten, my friend, my colleague, my brother. Every day we worked together for 6 years, and now we are helping the children with DIPG, and that's something that I really hope and I really think is possible, to not let this girl and other children die. So if you want to help us, guys, write to me, make donations or whatever. You can write to us. We need it. We are working our asses off day and night. My day starts at 5 o'clock and closes at 11 o'clock p.m. every day, and I'm working also every weekends, both Saturday and Sunday, to make this material. Really. And Teresa, thank you. Researching Buteyko breathing, that's a good thing. Researching Buteyko breathing, it's Buteyko technique. You see, it's the technique. It's the only technique that is really giving us possibility to measure our breathing, to measure our state of health. It's multifactorial. So this measurement of control pause, it's not just measurement of breathing. It's, I believe, more and more that is basically together with other measurements that we are taking with the blood, from the blood, it really measures mitochondrial respiration. We can optimize mitochondrial respiration, and that's the answer for everything. And if we connect it with something from paleomedicina, to these doctors that I'm very, very happy that I read their studies and their papers, Shabbatot and Zofia Clemens. When we connect with basically avoiding all the triggers of auto-inflammation, we have a very, very strong protocol. And I mentioned all those guys in my own first article that is coming on Elsevier. That's the medical publishing house. My article is coming here the 6th of November, actually in 2 weeks. I'm very, very, wow, I'm waiting. That's my first scientific writing. So, and I work, I wrote this article about synergetic effect of Buteyko breathing, optimization of breathing, and ketogenic diet. And yeah, and about measurements, I wrote, it's a big article, 30 pages. So, guys, thank you for joining. Thank you, Vera. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Teresa, Slava, and Kathy. You can just use the same link, and the link is, let me give you the link. That's the link for the replay. Just a second. Replay, play here. during the next 2 days here. And afterwards, from Wednesday, it's a link to next week's webinar. The same link, guys, absolutely the same link. So please spread this link and let people learn. And we have to connect with each other. We have to connect with each other. And please, basically, also like my Facebook page, and it's called Sakharov Protocol, and no, it's a practitioner course. I'm educating practitioners. Exactly. Just a second. Integrative Sakharov Integrative Health. Just a second. Let me find this link. Yeah. So let me share this link. Like my Facebook page, and I'm going to post a lot of information there. Please like. It's not called like. Like. I'll give you a heart and a smiley because I love you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Janet. That's fantastic to see my colleagues, Buteyko colleagues, my lovely Buteyko colleagues here, and Janet is one of them. They help me a lot by their knowledge. We are learning from each other. We have a very, very great group and the greatest community, Buteyko practitioners called BBEA. Yeah, and I'm so happy. They gave me now the award this year. My Buteyko colleagues called Take the Breath Away award this year. Actually, for 2 weeks, 10 days ago. Yeah, I'm so happy. Thank you very much. And also, I got a new level 5, Buteyko practitioners, the highest level. Wow, I'm level 5 Buteyko practitioners. Yes, I'm very, very proud for my colleagues, for what I'm doing, and I'm proud for our work together with my partner, Karsten. And I'm so happy that you guys are spreading the knowledge and yeah, helped me very much seeing that there's a lot of people connecting. So I'll be there again next week. Watch the replay, and I hope we all gonna have a great week. And remember, if you know anybody that want to start with healing any kind of brain cancer, glioblastoma, astrocytoma, whatever, DIPG, even DIPG, we have now working with DIPG. This is something completely new. I think it will be possible to reverse DIPG for the first time. So any kind of gliomas and all of that, please remember you can enroll to beat DIPG. If you enroll today, you will start working with us tomorrow. And it's very intensive. It's every day, working every day. And I'll be there for you every single day from Monday to Friday, 1 hour and sometimes longer if you need me. And you will have access to me every day, basically. You will have material from me every day for 25 weeks, 6 months. And it's enough to reverse brain tumor. Love you. Bye. See you next week.